BMW skipped 2021 for the M8 for the United States. Today, Phil and Tomas has given us the 2022 BMW M8 Competition Coupe in your Brands Hitch Gray Metallic here at BMW of Wesley Chapel. New, it's going to have a standard power increase. Why? Because they now give you that competition package included in the price point, so you're going to get the extended shadow line trim. Updated in the interior, it's going to have carbon fiber for the seats to make it lightweight, a carbon fiber roof line, so the car is going to be more agile, rear base all-wheel drive system. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The BMW M8 Competition is definitely going to set to impress. You're going to have a wider stance at 75.1 inches. It's also going to be a lower stance with a height of 53.6 inches. Gloss black, kidney grille, just integrates a little bit onto that hood with the BMW emblem. Long structured hood with the aerodynamic lines that proportion through, so it gives that luxury and sport heritage all in the mix. On the side, you'll get your air breathers, everything with the gloss black, all on the lower trim as well. And I like how we have the spoiler lip right here that enters into the chin, and it doesn't just sit down, it just kind of flows the way it is, so that way it helps with downforce. And the aggressive stance that you get just flows with these Icon adaptive LED headlamps with laser lights. So the whole setup of the proportions, when you're looking at this car from a rear view perspective, you're going to tell that this is a super aggressive stance car that could get 0 to 60 in either 3 seconds or even lower. And the fenders just flow right into these 20-inch M double spoke black wheels. With the red brake calipers, 15.7 inches is the disc reading. It's cross-drilled. The rear, 15 inches, cross-drilled as well. M composite. Adaptive M Sports suspension, MX drive, which, like I was saying, you could go from an all-wheel drive to a two-wheel drive. M carbon roof not only sets an appearance, but it also helps with the weight, a length at 191.8 inches and a wheelbase at 111.3 inches. I like how everything's blacked out on the side. M spec side view mirrors with the gloss black as well. M side vents blacked out, and it really does look nice, giving a sleek silhouette and a sporty contour shaping for a pure performance driven vehicle. So whether you get the convertible or the coupe, I think either way you'll be fine. I prefer the convertible, but the coupe is definitely going to be just a touch quicker. You will be set with your M rear spoiler, LED taillights, the proportions, the way all the aerodynamics come to a conclusion, a nice dramatic touch, all blacked out on the bottom, kind of a diffuser look with your quad exhaust outlets and their black tips, so I like what we're doing. The reverse parking sensors, just like the front, you can't even see them. 360-degree reverse camera, and if I was behind this, just seeing that competition, I'd say, you know what, this thing got over 600 horsepower. I'm not going to bother. Going inside to your power trunk at 14.8 cubic feet, you have a 12-volt and storage on both of the sides. The best part about any BMW M8 and the fact that we finally got it back in the United States is the power. Let's hear that exhaust. BMW doesn't play with the performance for the M8 Competition, a 4.4-liter V8 BMW M twin power turbo, producing 617 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 15 to 21 mpgs, even though that's not going to matter. BMW says a 0 to 60 is around 3 seconds, and I'm sure it could go faster. A top speed at 156 miles per hour, but here's the best part. Optional carbon ceramic brakes will increase that top speed to 189 miles per hour, so you have the track-derived vehicle, everyday vehicle we're going to see in the drive. But the setup that we have, I like the numbers and what we're going with. BMW's doing an excellent job. I'm happy to see it back in the United States. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 BMW M8 Competition as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Inside the BMW M8 Competition, we're going to get the Shakir orange leather. It's merino leather. You're going to have 16-way power adjustments. They're heated front seats, carbon fiber, so that way it lowers the weight inside the cabin with the M8 logos. And I do like the setup. You feel super aggressive inside here. Looking through that windscreen, it just really blows you out of proportion. The dash, I like the setup. You're going to have soft materials throughout. You'll have the leather. You're going to have Alcantara. You're going to have real brush aluminum. Bowers and Wilkins upgraded sound system. Normally you'd get a Harman Kardon, which is around 464 watts, and that's 16 speakers. So this one's going to be even more potent. 10.25 touchscreen. We have the gesture. You also have the pinch and the swipe. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, Bluetooth connectivity. You have your dual climate control settings, M8 Competition badging here, cup holders. You can easily fit a 20 ounce. It's a 16.9 ounce water bottle. You have your wireless charger, carbon fiber inlays in the center here with your M badging, and I like the stitch work around the leather. You have your 7.0 iDrive Connect. And this is going to get over-the-air updates, so you don't have to worry about taking it to the dealership. You have heads-up display, a 12.3 digital driver cockpit, the steering wheel, leather-wrapped, M-spec, cross-stitch, paddle shifters, and your M shifters, so that way you can get super aggressive when you need, and you can get lightly aggressive on the regular roads. As for the elbows, soft on both sides, opening up into here with another USB and a 12 volt, plenty of storage capacity. I like that. It's a frameless rear view mirror on the door panel, soft materials throughout with the leather. You got the speakers with that metal inlays, one touch up and down for the windows. Storage, you can fit about 2 to 3 16.9 ounce water bottles, so it's pretty efficient for what you need. I do like the gloss black here because it does offset, so they got a lot of materials going on, but I think it works really well because it gives that sport and luxury heritage. In the way you sit, you just feel cocooned. Let's check out the back seats. For the back seat, I'm at 33.6 inches of headroom, 29.5 inches of legroom, completely against the headliner in the back seat. The carbon fiber helps with breathing, but it's hard. Nothing here for, elbows, nothing on the side except for your Bauer and Wilkins sound system. So you really just have to put your arms on your legs and hope that you can hold on to something because of that 0 to 60. Taking the all-new 2022 BMW M8 Competition out for our test run, and I'm just so happy to see the vehicle back. I wish this was a convertible because I'm always a convertible guy, but I do like the coupes, don't get me wrong. They're very fast derived, and it has a different feeling too. So it's good that you see the coupe, and I already have a convertible one, so you can actually see the difference. Because realistically, the big change was you get the competition package standard. Now, the way the set of the vehicle is, when you're going over, different areas, as you see, it does feel like it's a little bit low to the ground, but it actually sits up pretty good, and you can see pretty much everything for the most part, so you don't have to worry too much with that. 617 horsepower as well. It's a little bit wet outside because it's been raining, so we're not going to go too crazy. We'll show you some of the power and show you how it feels on a daily basis. I would say to keep that active exhaust note on just because the sound is beautiful. The V8 twin turbo engine always sounds lovely, and I think BMW does an excellent job doing that with their M vehicles, especially when you get into this tier. The vehicle is just a hair under $150,000. You really want to be able to just have your presence known. Going over speed bumps, you don't have to go any crazy direction either. You can see I'm staying straight. I'm going about 10-15 miles per hour. Even though it's all M spec'd out, you just kind of glide over everything. We got it in sport mode. Everything is M as can be. I got it where I can play with the paddle shifter. It's going to straighten her just a little bit, and we're going to be going about 10 miles an hour, giving it some go, and this is where it unleashes the beast. Oh man, forget about blind spot. You don't have any. With the speed that's underneath this vehicle, you just glide over everything. Even though I'm low to the ground, I don't hear a substantial amount of wind noise. BMW really did mask it and make it as airtight as possible. U-turn with a stop point, you're going to be getting about 2 lanes, give or take, giving it some gas, and here's where she livens up, and you can hear that exhaust note. It screams for more. You just need to feed that V8, and that's what I like about this particular vehicle. You can do that. We have the M Sport brake, so if somebody does pull out in front of you and you see it, you can hit the brake without any issues. If you need to give it some gas to get back up to speed, downshift 1 on this Drive Logic, it's absolutely no issues at all. The seats really hug you. They, at first, when you get into the car, because I've been driving it around, they feel a little bit more aggressive than they needed to be. However, and see the brakes, what I was saying. However, as you drive it, you begin to enjoy the drive more. So I will say that that is something, don't be off-put if you go for a test drive and you're like, you know what, these seats are just too aggressive because the carbon fiber in between your legs and just the way it really, you know, contours your body. It actually fits really good and snug, and you want that. So now we're gonna really see, giving it some gas. Oh, wow. And like I said, I can't go too crazy because it's a little wet outside. I don't want to spin around or anything like that. Rear wheel bias when you need to be, especially when you're pounding on that gas pedal. And that's exactly what I was just showing you. Now, if you do drive it on a daily basis, you're not going to be doing that all the time. So what you're going to be doing is driving it like this and taking the exhaust note off. Now you're going to hear a little bit more of the road noise coming through the wheel wells and through the side windows, not necessarily so much through the front. And a lot of that also, you got to consider, you have a carbon fiber roof line, so that also adds to that noise that you're going to hear. And just driving the car normally, what you will notice is it still drives good. It hits about a 2 to 3 RPM, give or take, the way you push the gas pedal. But for the most part, you feel like you're in a race car. That's honestly what you want at this price point and for this specific vehicle. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like is how BMW just gives you the competition package, so you increase that horsepower, and that's exactly what you like. You also get the exterior Shadowline trim that's going to come with it as well. I mean, I could just go on forever. The second thing that I like about it is it's leather everywhere, and they mix it with carbon fiber, with real brushed aluminum, with Alcantara. Excellent job. The third thing, and I know it sounds like I've done like 30 things, but we got to just put it together because these are really good pinpoints. The third thing that I like is something you can actually drive this on a daily basis and you wouldn't get tired because of the way the seats contour your body. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: there's no reason to have a back seat. I would rather have a little bit more leg space in the front. So I get it, maybe it's good for insurance purposes, but I think by now insurance know that it's a lie. There's absolutely no need for a back seat. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the seats are comfortable, and I'm not gonna lie about that. But on the downfall, that carbon fiber in the center, and I get it, they did it to lower the weight as much as possible because the vehicle does have a lot of weight because of that engine as well. But still, maybe just give me some more leather there and a little bit of material. I don't think a couple ounces would really make a difference. The third thing that I dislike is they didn't give us the upgraded screen. We don't have the 12.3 infotainment, and they're putting it pretty much in all the new BMWs, and I would have liked to see that instead of the 10.25. As I've been driving the vehicle, the other thing that I will note is unless you hit a higher RPM, you really don't hear the exhaust note, and it's kind of sad to say it that way because I honestly want to hear the aggressive exhaust note. I know that they're putting regulations and they're trying to make it more complicated for vehicles with this type of power to have that unless you really unleash it at like a 4 RPM, which anything under, I would say, 10 takes about 3 RPMs. So when you hit about 3 RPMs, that's when you can finally hear that exhaust note. Anything under that, it's going to be a little bit more quiet, but the drive is comfortable. The steering, it's not heavy, but it's not too ultra light as well, so anybody can drive the car without hardly any problems. Turn radius is good, like you can see. Blind spots, you got blind spot monitoring, and honestly speaking, you're so fast with that 0 to 60. None of these cars are going to even matter to you. If you really need to get in front of them, push the gas, or you can hit the brake, because on both perspectives, you're going to either go faster or you're going to brake better. So any which way you cut the cookie, don't worry about that. Stopping in the middle of the road because it's wet, we're not going to go too crazy. Giving it some gas and just ready to rock and roll. You can feel that rear biasness as well as you push the gas pedal. And I mean, it really does hug any kind of corners. Because it's raining, I'm not going to go too crazy, but man, this is definitely a treat. If you get a chance to drive one or purchase one, definitely go, because this is something that is just beyond any vehicle. It truly is one of the ultimate driving machines. When you're driving on lower speeds or even high speeds on both notes, I've realized that you don't actually feel the road that much at all. So the impurities, you're gonna be fine with that. As for the length of the vehicle, it feels extremely long when you're looking at it through the front. And when you look at it through the rear, because of the slanted glass in the rear window, it actually does make it feel a little bit longer than the vehicle is. But realistically, it's not that long of a vehicle. I mean, I would say it's kind of a medium size. So again, maneuverability is not an issue. A good point is BMW will pay for all of your maintenance for the first 3 years as well. So purchasing it new, absolutely no issues at all. And I mean, a dynamic type of driven vehicle, plus you get a daily practical use all in the mix, and it's something that stands out all between. We're going to take this back to BMW of Wesley Chapel, go over the reverse camera, and wrap this review up. Switching to reverse, you do have full trajectory. It's a 360-degree camera. You can also click on these little camera icons here to see anything around you. You can change your different settings here. You can also do, for your automatic parking, your backup assistant, click onto this over here, and you can do your 3D view as well. Nothing here you can do, but you touch here, so that way you can see any obstructions around you. And you also have your car wash functionality, so that way it's easy to get inside to do your car wash. I'd like to thank Phil and Tomas here at BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2022 BMW M8 Competition for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button. Check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.